like another one that I did actually for Business Insider was about this guy who he's an astronaut. He just returned in April, but he's basically the guy who's the American who's been off of the Earth consecutively for like 365 days. I think it was something like that. I think it was a year. And you know, again, it was like right now I want to work with him again and do really like a longer piece, because when I was interviewing him, you know, they wanted kind of like a day in the life of an astronaut, which is interesting in itself. And there were some interesting tidbits that came out in our conversation. But, you know, in my research, just prepping for it, you know, basically like when he was up there, the Russian war in Ukraine started. And there was actually like I forget what the position of the guy was, but like some higher up in Russian government who is threatening to leave Mark, this American astronaut, in the space station, because the space station is run by the Russians with the US, but I think they were in the Russian part or something like that. But this guy had posted this video saying, we're going to leave the American astronaut up there. And, you know, in our interview, we didn't even get to touch on that because we were talking more about the angle, which was more the day-to-day. And so I was like, wow, that is really interesting. You know, like I would love to hear about that. So maybe we'll revisit it at some point. But yeah, I mean, that's the one thing, like they always say, you have to kill your darlings. You know, you can't really, when you're talking to someone, you hear a lot of stuff that just doesn't make it into the piece because it's just too much, which is a good problem to have, I think. But a lot of times I think most writers would say, oh, I can go a lot longer if I had the chance. But yeah, so that's another cool piece. And actually one of my favorite points was that I was asking him like what his day-to-day was like. So we started with a very kind of basic question, you know, like I said, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep, what is your schedule? And at one point he just telling me that he started like meditating, and he told me the story where he basically would meditate next to this window in the space station that just overlooked Earth. Like that was what he would just stare at as he meditated. And he actually got kind of choked up talking to me on the interview because and I just got goosebumps actually just saying that, because I was like, that is just, you know, imagine that, like less than 0.001% of the people to ever exist will have that experience. And to be able to talk to that guy, even though it was a piece about day-to-day life, like that was really cool. So
yeah. I was gonna say, it's like, you know, I did a meditation thing at work this Friday, but it was just like staring at like a YouTube video of a waterfall or something like that.
Yeah,
and he's got the entire Earth.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. I was like, that's insane. I mean, I meditate, and I was like, wow, I think I would just, yeah,